Good evening.
Get ready to the countdown.
So good evening everybody, how are we all? It is Thursday. I am off, so I'm streaming. So I've been busy today, really busy. Another big thank you to Linda. You may not see a lot of change behind us, but down this way there's been a hell of a lot of change. We've done a lot of work in this room. I need to tell you that I am not going to be streaming next week. The reason for that is I'm trying to stream as much as I can, but I really need to focus on getting stuff moved out of the house. After the stream, you can't see it over there, but I got my 3D print station. That is all coming down tonight. So I've had to sort of say, right, is it no more 3D printing? Which is a real shame because I've been a bit naughty on the Black Friday deals. I have in the other room a large bed resin printer. What did I order? Jupiter? Mercury, I don't know, they name them after all planets. I've also bought the Neptune, which is an FDM printer. The large bed one has arrived. The small bed one hasn't arrived yet. So guys, what did you all spend on Black Friday? Did you spend too much like I did? So also I've been doing a bit of designing. I have decided you can see one here. These are these are my drawers, and I'm designing my own. So you took my advice, Penny. Remind me what the advice was. I'll say yes for now. Spoon Glue says, hi Penny, how's the packing going? Yeah, it's going all right. It's I said to Linda today, I said it's a little bit like last week in that we worked really hard. We felt like we achieved a lot, but when you actually see what we've achieved, it doesn't look that much. And as per every time we pack now, I go for a little hour or two's nap just before the stream. And then I came back in and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. So yeah, we have done a lot. So as I say, the 3D print table's coming down. These boxes are going to get moved against the back wall. Hi Linda, when you come in, I advise you not to go live and oh right, okay, yes, yeah, I have been thinking about it. I don't want to not live stream. I absolutely love live streaming, and part of my brain is saying, well, why should I give up my free time and take away what I really love just because the landlord says you have to move? But on the other hand, I need to get it done, and I'm getting more and more stressed the closer moving day comes, and I still don't even know if I'm going to be moving on time. Call me paranoid if you want, but what kind of done it for me was when the landlord said if the old tenant moves out. He's given him 3 months when he only needs to give him a month. So he should have done anyway. So, right. Let's have a bit of a recap on what we did last week. Now, I have called this Galjin Part 1 because it sort of is, sort of isn't. Hello, Paranoid. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I'm like. Right. So, this is what we did last week. This is where we're up to. And this is the base. The base still has quite a lot of work to do. We're going to block those flowers in white. It looks better on camera. I think it needs another layer of white. And then what we'll do is we'll pop a little blob of yellow in the middle for the actual polleny bits, and then we will. Sorry, let me catch up with the comments. So Spruce says, hi Ethel, hi Pen. Evening Penny, says Dominic. Oh, guys, I'm sorry, I forgot. There we go. So the message is pinned. If anybody wants to come and join me, they're fine. Penny, before you start, have you got a coffee? So there is the coffee I made pre-stream, and there is what is now becoming my backup coffee. I didn't touch my backup coffee last week. I drank it after the stream and it was still piping hot. And just in case that's not enough, I've got my, I love this, right? I might get told off for advertising, but as you know, it's either Aldi or Lidl's. They do their own brands of products. They make them look very similar to full price brands, but you can tell what they're supposed to be. So, like if I hold this like this, you know it's a knockoff copy of Coca-Cola. But if you look at that fairly quickly, I think it says vial. So maybe it's a description. It is, obviously it's called Vive, but I think if you look at it fairly quickly, it says vial. So, but actually it does taste okay. It's not a lot different from Coca-Cola. So I like it actually. I might be buying some more. Sprue and Glue says hi Dom. Dom says hi Sprue and Glue. Hi Athol. So now I've been a bit naughty this week. Two things I've printed. Oh, one of them's actually still, bear with me a sec guys. So what's happened is that I printed something off and I left it to dry after washing, and we were so engrossed with everything I forgot to cure it, so I'll show you in a minute. So as you may or may not know, last week I was printing this Phoenix off and I had a print failure. I didn't wash it properly. I knew it was a failure, so I couldn't see the point in washing it properly. I think the base was printing while I was streaming. I did get a print failure, as you can see, but I'm going with it because a little bit of sanding, a little bit of filler, I think that will cover all of that up. I think the wings had come out and they weren't a perfect fit. I had these two little feathers that I had no idea what to do with, but I've reprinted the body, and doesn't he look amazing? But watch this guys, once I actually put him on the base, so this bit there, I thought that's a bit of a strange place to stop the feathers, and I thought maybe they're supposed to go on there. No, the feathers actually continue into there, and check that fit out guys, you can hardly see the gap. So the wings will go onto there like so, and that's a much better fit on this one. That crack looks cool, leave it in. Well, the trouble is that's swirling fire, so I don't know if it'll work. But this is what he looks like with the wings. Absolutely amazing. The fit is, whoops, the fit is almost perfect. So I think what I'll do is I'll focus on gluing it from the front. I think that needs a little bit of filing and just maybe a little bit of overexposure to take down, and that'll fit better. Do you know what? Right, Sprue, I have not been to Lidl for kits. I promise you I have not. Couple of reasons. One is the kits that I'd really like to get from Lidl's are the Revel kits, because I've got like a zillion Airfix starter sets. I certainly can't afford all of them, so I would get the Revel ones. But also money's really tight at the moment. I'm in this funny situation. Money isn't tight, but I don't know how much I've got, because I've got all this money in the bank and I'm moving house, and you know, when you move, everything costs more than you think it does. So I might be really rich, I might be really poor, I really genuinely don't know. But anyway, so these last two pieces that I didn't know what to do with, they actually go on the base. Can't get him in, so I'm not going to try. So this long piece, that goes in there. It's a continuation of his tail. So his tail comes, this feather comes down under the fire and sticks out again like that. And this one comes out, I think it's that way round, like so, or possibly that way. I can't remember. I have to look at the pictures. Something like, there it goes, that, like that. So I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to be a bit mean to you guys. This is going to be an off-screen project, but I wondered if I could perhaps do 3 of them. I'll do the one off camera as well. I might do another 2 red ones, but I thought I'll do a red one with fire, and then maybe I can do a blue one to sort of represent the frostbite phoenix from Warhammer. So it'll all be, the fire will be whites going into the blues. And then I thought, let's do something I've never seen before that I think might work. Maybe a sort of a plasma-y one. Have a green phoenix and all the fire will be yellows going into greens. See how that comes out. The amount of money I've paid to, I mean, I can print 4 of these off for less money than it would cost me to buy 1 phoenix from Warhammer. So that gives me a lot of wiggle room to experiment. You know, if it turns out it's a really bad idea to do one other than red, well, who cares? Excuse me. So I need to find my tile. I have been tidying up, and we've been sorting things about, and I actually don't know where my painting tile is. I had 2 of them and now they've both gone. So you know me, I'll figure something out. I've got my wet palette somewhere. I might have to use that. I'm sure my tile will turn up. Right, I also found, look at that, still wet. So what I'll start off doing, I've also packed all my paints away, which is a bit of an inconvenience, I know. I've also bought some new brushes. I'm still waiting for my speed paints to arrive. I messaged the guy, and he says, oh, it does say on the website it's a 20-day turnaround, but you've actually got my last one. It'll be sent out next week. It was sent out yesterday. The postmen have got it. They've actually had it since last night. So I'm not liking that bristle. Yeah, it should be with me tomorrow, I hope. Now, what I've done, it says on, there's a guy called Dan Sarastro, something like that. I've been watching a lot of his videos on speed painting, and he has advised to use synthetic brushes for speed paints. Now, I really don't like synthetic brushes, but I found these on Rosemary & Co. And this is a synthetic sable mix, so it's supposed to give you the best of both worlds. Now, I see the sense in using synthetic brushes, because these brushes, series 33, these are ordinary sable brushes. I can't remember how much they cost, but they weren't mega cheap. Now, these 4 brushes, I put them in my cart, and Rosemary & Co. says you cannot buy them, minimum order £10. So these are less than £2.50 average each. So what I've done, I've bought one of those brushes that I may never use, but if I do use it, I'll be glad I had it. And it is a tiny, tiny, tiny brush. It's a micro detail brush. It's a 15-0. So one day I might paint an eyeball with it. I don't know. So that's my new brushes I've got. Now I can't tell you what they're like because I haven't used them yet. But as soon as I use them, I will tell you. Sprue and glue. It says, Penny, that crack looks cool. I would leave it. See, now everyone's telling me to leave the crack alone. So I don't know. I don't like the crack in the middle. But then saying that, yeah, it's on the side as well. I don't know. Well, let me think about it. Because it's fire, you wouldn't have a crack in the fire, would you? So I don't know. And I also want to look into what's causing the crack. I'm getting this occasionally on large prints. So you can see it was actually printing this way. So we've got, it's not a complete loss of a layer, because the layer, in fact you can see a layer line there. So you can see it has printed. So I think it's that way. So it has printed, it's just this bit is failed. So I don't know. Could be any one of 100 reasons, I reckon. Right, so let me start off with my white. And we'll get those, we'll get a second coat done on the flowers. And then I can look at doing the magenta shade. Let's find a brush that I'm happy with. That one will do. And then I've got to remember the colour that I used for, because I packed all my paints away. So where's he gone? I've forgotten the actual colour I was using for that bit. I think it was a skeleton bone or something. Oh, I've got to wash my brushes, haven't I? You know, I sat there and a lot of my brushes were a little bit not great. So I washed all of my brushes out with Master's brush soap. And then I left the soap bin. You know how if you leave the soap bin, you end up with that kind of what do you call it? You know, the finish that you get when you buy brushes. Right, so I'm just going to put a second coat on the flowers. That's too thin. That's terrible. I keep forgetting these paints don't actually need thinning that much. Oh, that's so much better now I've cleaned it. Isn't it funny how the shape and that is so much nicer to paint with? Why is that not holding a lot? That's better. Couldn't seem to load the brush up. The trouble is, because the camera is kind of washing it out, you can't see the detail that I'm seeing. But you know full well, once I get the yellow dot in, you'll be able to see the middle, and that'll kind of help. And then once I put the wash on, that'll look really good. That's a tiny little flower there. So they've changed our Edinburgh duties at work. We're not happy. I went to see the boss about it, and it was quite funny. You know, when you can kind of read between the lines. So what's happened is, I mean, I work late, so my interpretation might be different from the people who work days. But we, this Edinburgh one, we stop at Livingston and we stop at Hart Hill. Now I'm told Hart Hill is a very, very busy stop. Hart Hill is basically, it's a park and ride. People come in, they park their cars, and they get the bus for a couple of quid into Glasgow. And obviously it's a really good cheap idea to park your car. Otherwise, by the time you've paid the ULEZ charge in Glasgow and found somewhere to park, you know, I personally, I won't take my car into Glasgow anymore. It's cheaper to get the bus at £5. In fact, I can get the train for £5.80 return. Right, what are we up to? Dominic says, an eyeball, you can put a dot with a toothpick, make it a sharp point with a knife. That's how I learned. Yeah, but I had to order something to bring the order up to over a tenner. So why not buy a paintbrush that I'll probably never use? To be honest with you, the trick I was taught, if they're less than 48 scale or 32 scale, just slap a wash over the face and leave it. You don't need to put an eyeball in if it's that small. Which it kind of works. If I show you, this is my pilot from the 32 scale Lancaster. He's got no eyeballs. And this is the Navigator. Again, no eyes. Does he need it? Did I see Octal? Octal, how are you, Penny? I am very well, thank you very much. Right, let me find my yellow. As I say, I have put all my paints away, which is I didn't even this time. I feel a bit bad because I didn't, with my bell head, I wrote down all the colours that I used, and this time I didn't. So I've got to kind of do it all by memory. I've got demonic yellow, warped yellow. I think I'm going to use the demonic yellow. No, yes. Yeah, no, I'm going to use the warped yellow because the description on the side, the more I use these paints, the more I love them. So I know I bleat on about this. So this is warped yellow, and it's yellow's number 4. But if you go by the simple description on the side, brilliant yellow. The other one, the number 3 is a vivid yellow. So I picked this colour based on the description there. It's called brilliant yellow. So let me just, I don't know if I've ever used this yellow. I don't think I have. So it gets the old vibration treatment. So work-wise, I've not done anything exciting. I've done a duty on the Edinburghs, and I've done 2 duties on the Aberdeens. I do enjoy me Aberdeens. Last night, oh my God, it was absolutely dreadful. When you consider that my bus is 13.5 tons, and it was getting chucked about the road all over the place. Absolutely scary. I mean, I've been driving, oops, I don't know why I've just took my headphones off and I want to take my glasses off. So I mean, I've been driving buses for a long time now, and I've got used to a lot of things. But last night was a little bit on the scary side, I don't mind telling you. And but I'll tell you what I have discovered. Don't laugh. So the girlfriend of one of the drivers showed me how to hook up my Bluetooth to the radio. Now, I've always been aware that there's been a phone button, but I had no idea. You press phone and it just says select phone. What I didn't realise, you then need to press a button called menu. Who would have thought that? And then it comes up with a PIN number to hook it to the Bluetooth. So I love my Aberdeen runs anyway, but there's a large patch between Aberdeen and Glasgow where there is no radio signal, absolutely none. But now, because I got my Bluetooth, I can now listen to my Amazon Music. But the weird thing is, I can listen to radio on my, because anything you can do on Alexa, I can do on Amazon Music. So I do like to listen to my my local radio station, Clyde 1. It's not so bad on the Edinburghs, because once you get closer to Edinburgh, you have, oh, what's it called? It's called something else 1. But it's the same station, but they just renamed it slightly. And then there's another one called Tay 1 or something. So they're obviously naming the radio stations after rivers. Someone help me out here. What's the river that goes through Edinburgh? Right, is that making a difference to you guys on camera? It's making a huge difference to me, but obviously I can see different from you. Yeah, that's made a bit of a difference, hasn't it? So just a little blob of yellow. And I do not feel that we are painting figures that are supposed to represent people that go around killing things. You know. Fourth one, that's the one. Fourth one. So that's the Edinburgh one. That looks so, you know, I like to paint figures that of armies. What are you painting today? Flowers. But it's actually quite a nice little change. Right, I want set number 2. I want me washers. Hey, that's not right. Set 3 is me washers. Right, bear with me, guys. Did we say purple or magenta for the flowers? What do you think to magenta? Purple, sorry. Let's do purple. Right. I need... Now, what I'm going to do... I'm going to have to get a piece of plastic. What I'm going to do is... I don't know how strong that wash is. So, I'm going to get a piece of plastic. And I'm just going to dilute it down 50-50. And we'll give that a little look. And if it's not strong enough, obviously I can use it a little bit, not so diluted. So I think that's going to be a little bit strong. So I think, oops, that might be a little bit over diluted there. Right, glasses off. Oh, I found me, what are we calling them these days? Minion glasses? Do you know what? I think, let me just finish this flower off. And then I'll show you guys. I think I might have just got this spot on. I don't want a strong wash. I just want, I want the leaves just coloured a little bit. There we go. Right, glasses on. I am going to put my minion glasses on in a bit. So look, there. It's just a little bit coloured, isn't it? I think that's probably perfect. And then what we'll do is we'll hit that with a white. And we'll just hit the edges of it. And all I'm really doing is just applying the wash all over. And then I'm sucking up as much of it as I can with my brush. I don't mind it pooling, but, well, I do mind it pooling. I'm trying to completely avoid painting over the yellow bits, but I want it to settle around it, so it's kind of a the regular yellow with a little outline. There you go, I'm really happy with that. That is really nice. It's just a pastel-y, subtle, and then I say what I'll do is I'll get my little brush and I'll just go around the outsides of the flowers, and I'll get that purple as thin as I can in the middle. It'll probably be about a third of the width. Just depends on my painting skills. And then I did have to whip my brush off at the end. Right, so let's give that plenty of time to dry. So sorry guys, I'm just looking for the paint that I used. Set 1, set 2, set 2, 2, 3, 4. Put the label, that's alright. Anyone got any ideas what I used? Skeleton bone, I think that might be the colour. Not using it as a skeleton, obviously. I've lost him again. Oh, I've obviously painted him too subtle because I keep losing him. Do you know, I think that might be the right colour. Right, so what I'm going to try and do now... Oh, no wonder that was a nice brush. That was my Kolinsky Sable brush. What cake is it tonight? Actually don't have cake tonight. So Athol says, well, outside tonight, gusts over 60 miles an hour. So another sleepless night affair. Not that Celia worries, as she has her headphones and blackout. Good girl. Yeah, so I don't actually have any cake tonight, Spirit. But I've been... Do you know what? So, call me Posh Paws if you want. Because of the time of day I tend to finish work, I tend to do a lot of my shopping at Marks and Spencer's. The reason for that is there's a really nice BP garage on the way home. You know how like garages and convenience stores, they kind of link up, and they have a Marks and Spencer's there. Now, I've always had the attitude that yes, Marks and Spencer's is expensive, but it's also quality. So if you want good food, you know, you're going to pay a bit more, but you will get good food for it. Now, they often have a little deal going on. But the deal they've got on now, they quite often have 2 pizzas and 2 sides for 16 quid. I think it's about a 12-inch pizza. And I thought, you know what, sod it, I'm having a pizza. Now, last time I had the pizza, it actually lasted me 2 days because I had 2 pizzas, mozzarella sticks and chicken nuggets. But they've put the price down to 12 quid. So I got 2 12-inch pizzas, 1 meat feast, 1 what do you call it, margarita, with a generous portion of chicken nuggets. Well, let's call them chicken nuggets, but they're Marks and Spencer's, so they're much better than that. Don't associate them with McDonald's. And I got cauliflower balls. Now, I normally I like my meat as much as anyone, but I don't eat meat on a Friday. So the plan is, Linda may be round tomorrow. She may not. It depends on what she's got to do. But I don't eat meat tomorrow, so we've had the meat feasty pizza today with the chicken nuggets, and I held back. We had half a pizza less 1 slice each, and we had about a third of the chicken nuggets, and the rest were held back for my tea tonight. I don't mind pizza just banged in the microwave, and they were quite nice. And then we'll do the same tomorrow, but obviously instead of the chicken nuggets we're going to have cauliflower balls, and they're just basically bits of cauliflower in breadcrumbs, so nothing special about them. Right, so I'm just going to just bring back that original colour, almost just leaving the deeper recesses. And then what I've done is I don't know why I can't get these brushes loaded up. So I've got my thin paints, and I'm just following the lines down on the cloak. Like so. See the bit in the middle. And then what I'll do next is I'll go the next colour up and I'll do the same. And one trick I learnt from a Warhammer store, I was so grateful. I did the purple set of colours and it was terrible. The steps in colours was absolutely dreadful. And they went, oh, just stick a wash over it, a glaze. It was either a red or a purple glaze. So I put this glaze in on it, and it just pulled all the colours in perfectly, and I was so happy. So if this doesn't work out too well, I'll just put a little wash over it, which will give me a chance to play with that wash medium. Is it the wash medium? Because it's kind of made it go thicker. Right, this has got quite a heavy wash over it. I should have really kept an eye on that. And then I'm going to hit all the decorative bits at the bottom, probably with the yellow. We'll make that look like gold stitching maybe. I think I should be doing more on this, you know. I've only done the bottom, but I do want to get them attached to the base. That's nice. Liking that. So just keeping it thin, just pulling it as much as I can. If I feel it hasn't coloured it in enough, I mean, I might do another coat of the same colour, just see what I feel it needs. I've got a feeling it's going to look a bit dirty. It seems that my painting style seems to be, no matter how much effort you put in, it's going to look a bit scruffy. Maybe I've been painting chaos too long. Because you don't worry about chaos being scruffy, do you? If anything, it looks a bit better. How's my up and downy going, Athol? Well, I can't get in there, so I'm not going to. I'm only going to take this about halfway down underneath the cloak because I can't see the point. Plus it's shaded. It's very hard to see though because of the shadows it's causing. Oh, I had to laugh yesterday. First of the month is flea day. And the way my fleas are done, the way I deflea my cats is I have this little vial and I take the top off and jab them on the back of the neck with it. And it isn't really that bad, but Shadow's a bit of a drama queen. And last month when I did it, we were trying, he couldn't get near Shadow. So I had the vial ready. I think he knows where it lives. So I had the vial ready in my back pocket. I thought at the right opportunity, I'll grab him. And I finally got it done. And then he was all right after that. So I thought, oh, well, obviously he's got used to it. And he knows that, you know, he tries to avoid it. He doesn't like it. But once it's done, he knows he's not going to have it done again for another month. Where is Linda? So Linda, I believe, is busy. She said she will try to watch the stream. You know, people have this funny thing called a life. Very inconvenient, I know, but so yeah, I did the flea stuff yesterday. Spirit got her no problems, and I just saw the opportunity. I thought, well, I need to go to work soon, so I literally just grabbed him and I just did the back of his neck, and he was in a right grump. He wouldn't come near me. Every time I went to say hello, he ran off. So in the end, I thought, you know what, sod ya, and off I went to work. And I come home. As soon as I got home from work, he was just absolutely normal. You know, all pleased to see me. Right, I think that's going to need a slight bit of highlights on there, but on the whole, that's not looking too bad, is it? So let's get this yellow in on the flowers. So one of the good things about a wet palette is I've still got active wet paint, if a little tiny bit thicker on the top. Right, so let's come in a little bit. I'll try to I'm really terrible at working on the camera, but I'll give it a go. Right, so the theory is, if I hit the edges like that, do you know what, that's not quite what I had planned, but I like it. Right, okay, let's change the plan slightly. Let's thin the paint a little bit more, and I'll pull it from the inside. It's not really doing much, is it? Okay. If I thin this any more, it's going to come out more like a glaze. And now I can't find the flower I've done. Ah, there we go. Right. I don't know what's going on. It's really not holding on to the paint much. There you go, that's what I'm after. Do you know what? This is annoying. These are Kolinsky Sable brushes, and they're not holding on. Tell you what, I'm going to try a bigger brush and really rely on that point. Maybe I shouldn't be using a 10-0 then. Let's try a 1. Nope, that's a 2. One of the good things I find with these Kolinsky Sables, they come to such a good point that I can actually paint very, very, very small with them. Look at the point on that. It's theoretically far too big a brush, but because the point's so good, that's better. Yes, much better. So just really sort of outlining. And then a little bit extra at the top. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along, guys, but You know what? It's working for me. And then as it dries, that purple's coming through a bit more. You know, I'm really liking that. Let me try and get a good focus on that. What do you think, guys? Is purple not purple? If you get my drift on that. So it satisfies my need to paint purple. Oh, I just banged my elbow on the edge of the desk. That actually really hurt. Not quite on my funny bone. And why is it called a funny bone? Because when you hit it, it really is not funny. Well, not to me it's not. It might be to you guys. A little bit extra at the top. These are going to be a little bit more difficult because they're smaller. But as this white paint is drying, it's kind of going a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? See-through. So as you put the paint on, you're like, oh my God, it's too white. And these flowers are actually quite dreadful. I haven't done the underside of the leaf. Am I still on camera, guys? I don't know why I'm asking. You can't sort of go, no, you're not. Right, 2 more batches to do. These are a little bit smaller. But one of the good things about doing something like flowers is I know flowers tend to grow in a kind of a pattern, but anything organic, little defects, I think adds a little bit of charm. So if I don't quite paint these totally even, do we care? There we go. That makes me happy, guys. I am very happy with that. So let me put my glasses on so I can see what you can see. So let's have a look at it from a distance. Yeah, you can tell there's something from a distance. My light is very strong. It tends to wash things out a bit. But yeah, I like that. I quite like that one. See, which the wash has just gone in slightly too heavy, and then this one isn't so bad, and it just makes them look individual, I think. Right, let's have a catch up on chat. So, evening, guys. This is Plastic Monkey. How are you, Plastic Monkey? Evening, Paul and Sue. Hi, Athol, David. So how is Sue tonight? Back to her usual, full of fun? And yes, you're on camera. Right, so we are, oh good, we're only less than an hour in. You know what I'm like, I carry on, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I've only got 20 minutes left. Right, so I reckon once I get these boots done, we can get him, oh, we'll base coat that. I reckon we can get him on the base then. So Plastic Monkey says all good, thanks. Right, so we are trying out these bullets. If you remember last week I put this dark leather on, and the first coat I wasn't very happy with, but it turns out I hadn't quite shaken the pot enough. So I got, oh Athol, help me out here. What did I get? That little squirt that comes out of the, I want to say chili juice, was it? I really need to remember that because I think that's hilarious. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch all of the folds on the leather boots. Oh, there we are. That's got plenty of it. These have been chucked in a box for about 4 years. I'm surprised they're any good. Curried chili juice. That's the one. That's close enough, isn't it? But look, I just got a little bit there with the with this one. Motherland Earth. That is not Motherland Earth, is it? No rude comments, please, guys. Yeah, I think it's all stuck in the nozzle. I think what I'll do is I'll squeeze some out onto kitchen roll. There we are. I think that might actually be the first time that particular pot has ever opened. There we go, that's much better. That's now the same consistency as the leather. Right, so these are actually quite thin paints. But obviously will still need thinning. Right. So catching the folds, I think that's thinned a bit too much. There we go. And then just keep working that up until it's quite light. And I like pushing the highlights on leather too far because it gives it that sort of worn look. I think that brush is too big for even that, even with it being a Kolinsky sable. Let's try a 0. Just, oh God, are my brushes in the wrong order? Or have I lost one? 2. Why do I not have a 0 then? A 0 is one of my staple brushes. Right. Still losing control on it. It's absolutely insane detail on some of these, you know. There's detail that doesn't really need to be there. You've got like tiny bits of detail down the bottom. Just keep going over the bits until this is quite glazy, this paint. I might actually just go straight in with the Motherland Earth. And that's going to take ages to dry, isn't it? This is a brilliant candidate for speed paints, isn't it? With all those bits of detail to fall into. Got so many things I want to try when I get the speed paints. There's that Don guy. Do you know, he's getting so much flack about his speed painting. Yes. Hello, Spirit. Are you taking over Shadow's throne? She's just discovered the little cushion. Right, we'll just let that dry off for a bit. Right. Yeah, the poor guy is getting so much flack. But it's good looking at your paint stick, Penny. Good. Oh, yeah, I'm getting you now. Yeah. My technique's getting better. It's practice though, isn't it? Yeah, so this poor guy, he's doing these speed paint videos. And like I said to you before, I didn't have a problem with speed paint, contrast paint, all the rest of it. It just, I didn't feel it was for me. And the reason I didn't feel it was for me was because I think there was another painter I saw, and he summed it up perfectly, which is he paints for decoration. He wants to put the figure on his mantelpiece and look at it, which is basically me. But watching this Don guy use these speed paints, he's doing some really good work with it, and I'm now seeing it as replacing my washers. So you're still doing painting, you're still doing washers, but you're just using a different wash. And I'm really liking it, so I'm taking the plunge. But he does this thing. But yeah, so we got this comment. A lot of people are saying speed painting isn't real painting, and I want to ask your opinion on that, guys. Is speed painting real painting? I have my opinion, which I will share. I have shared really, but so this is a mix, 50-50 mix of skeleton bone, which is the original colour, and ancient stone. So it's just pushing those highlights up a little bit, and I've thinned the paints quite a bit, and I'm not going over all of what I've done, but I'm looking at this thinking I might need a little wash over it, because it's looking a little bit uneven. So we'll see what it's like when it's dry, but it's a bit of a dirty cheat. If you can't get your layers smooth, just get in a wash or a glaze, and it just kind of ties it all together a bit. It's not terrible, I just think it could be a little bit better. Having said that, I've just gone over a second coat on this bit, and that seems to be quite nice. Okay, and I'm now starting to think about where the light source is coming from. I mean, it could sometimes be not the light source. Oh, sorry guys, I'm well off camera there. So sometimes it's not how you're doing your highlights, it's how you've left your recesses. So could there be too much shade in there? But actually I'm quite pleased with that. Put that second layer on there, and it's just kind of tied it all together a little bit. So I'll just where it's a little bit patchy. But obviously when I go over a second layer, I need to just bring that in a little bit so that it's more feathered rather than, I don't want a solid line where one colour transitions into another. I want it to just be a bit smooth. Okay. And this bit I'm not happy with. I really should have checked that wash. Let's put something a little bit, a slightly thicker skeleton bone over there, just to cover that wash up. And we'll correct that a little bit later. Am I going off camera? I've got to, what I normally do is I put masking tape crosses on my desk, and I position them so that from my angle, if the model stays within the masking tape circle marks, I know I'm within camera, and then I don't actually need to look up, because I'm kind of just painting away. I'm guessing from your point of view, I'm creeping up. I'm not just going from there to there. I'm probably just working my way up. Right, I'm actually happy with that. What colour did we all decide on with the cloak? I'm really liking purple down there. I want something that will contrast well with yellow, because I'm thinking about doing those runes in yellow. So I want something maybe blue, but I don't want him to look like Joseph in the multicolored Technicolor Dreamcoat. The word paint is used, therefore I like that. Right, so Plastic Monkey, yes, I think it's painting. Got the full set there. Is skill in using them. Lovely. Dominique, speed paint is a paint and wash in one jar. The word paint is used. Have I missed anything? Yeah, no, do you know what? I agree with that. However, I think, I can't remember, there we go. Right, interlude. My opinion on speed paints is that it covers, when you look at the different techniques that you use in painting, they're all beginner techniques, intermediate and advanced techniques. Now, speed paints, I think they bridge that gap, so they're ideal for a beginner. Once you've mastered it as a beginner, you can now begin to push that speed paint a little bit further. Hello, you got your seat back now, have you, mister? Good boy. So maybe you can do your speed paints. So as a beginner, you just slap speed paint on, bang, there you go. And the skill, there's two skills that you've got to master. One is dry brushing, well, priming, dry brushing, and speed paints. Bang, 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 done. Army on the table. You can spend a lot of time with your mates down the club playing. When am I moving? 2 weeks time, between the 16th and the 22nd. Why? I keep saying to you, mister, right, if you do not like being cuddled, why are you made so cuddly? Hey? It's not right. You can't be all cute and cuddly and then not act cute and cuddly. Yeah, so once you master that, then you use your speed paints and then you push highlights. But some of the techniques that I'm looking at is using, I've forgotten what the word is now, but you paint with one of the colours to one side. So for example, if you want to paint red, do a layer of orange, then you go over and you dry brush over it again with the white, then put your red down, and obviously because they've got a level of transparency, that orange will lift up and work with the red. I've also seen browns done and then the main colour, which then gives it that dulled down look. So there's, you know, and that's, you can take that to advanced levels. So that's why I'm looking at speed paints, because I'm seeing it primarily as it replaces my washers. Nothing will replace my washers. There will be times when base coat, wash, layer is the best method. Right, let's I think we have the pitch invasion. I think play is going to have to stop for a bit. Whoops, that's here. No, what that out. So yes, Dominic, I move on the, if everything goes as planned, I move on the 16th, the 19th and the 20th. Don't lick that, mister, that's paint. Yeah, see? Good boy. So yeah, 16th I'll be moving as much as I can on my own. The 19th I'm having a man with a van, and on the 20th I'll move what I couldn't move before. I'm now starting, now that we're getting things all boxed up, I'm now starting to think, yes, I'm moving. Yes. Did you not know I was moving through? I don't, do you know what? Yeah, oh, there we go, yes. Yeah, I think he's trying to very gently say, you've been bleating on a lot about moving. Right. So I'm going to just give him another layer on the boots. I'm not liking this Flames of War stuff, Colours of War. But it's, I won't say I'm not using it, because it's the first time I've used these paints, and a lot of paints I've used in the past. Do you know, I think that's not been shaken. I think that needs a long shake, because it's, this bit there, I haven't even thinned it, and it's got no coverage. And that suggests to me it's not the paint, it's the thinning. So I'm going to give that a long old shake. This is one of the things I love about the Vortex mixer, because obviously when you get a brand new paint, they recommend shaking the bottle for 30 to 40 seconds, don't they? 30 seconds to a minute. And I really can't do it that much longer than that, because I just get arm ache. But do you know what? I can hold this on the Vortex mixer for a minute or two. So I can give it 30 seconds one way and 30 seconds upside down. Maybe even give it 30 seconds on its side. Right. Well, if this isn't shaken, do you know, that looks a bit better, but it's still thin. Are these airbrush ready then? No, it doesn't say anything. Opaque water-based acrylics or plastic. I mean, look, I'm not going to say I don't like it. I will say I'm not liking it. But many paints I've used before. So who would have guessed Penny's moving houses as her landlord wants to increase the rent and knows she spends far too much on models. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, and I'm going to stick up for my landlord. I don't think he's being greedy. The rent that I'm paying here is the same rent that I've been paying for the last 4 years. We've worked out that if he'd have put the rent up maximum, I'll be paying about £300 a month more than I am now. The going rate is about, some people are paying like 700 quid a month, and I'm paying 440. And like I say, he's not put it up. The only thing he said, the reason he's kicking me out is because he's got a medical issue, which I don't think it's fair to go on about on stream. but he wants to reduce his portfolio, and he's selling 2 houses. This is one of them, and he says that the other house he's got will make him a profit because he got that at a nice price, but this one he overpaid. And I knew straight away that what he's after there, and I think this is a great idea, and I'd do the same myself. If you sell one house at a profit and one house at a loss, you won't pay so much capital gains tax. And I would do exactly the same. And then what he said is he's got a tenant in this other property, but he's kicking him out to keep me. So yeah, I won't say anything about my landlord. And he says I'm a great tenant. He says the only thing is this new house is £40 a month more rent. This guy's paying £480. And I said, look, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a problem with paying the extra 40 quid because he hasn't put the rent up. I don't have an attic, so there will be less overall space. So in that sense, I'm paying more money for less. However, I'm not able to see the property, and I've looked up like historical moves in that area, and I found the floor plans, but I haven't got any dimensions. So the rooms might be bigger for all I know. Right, this paint, it is working. I'm just going to have to build them up. It's almost, I don't know if you can see in there very well, but the folds on his boot, on his left boot, the one closest to his staff, that's starting to build up. But I think I might push that a little bit higher. This is kind of a ginger colour. So I think I might push it even further on these really sharp details. I think what I'll do is I'll maybe mix a bit of skeleton bone in, or one of the ochre colours. Ochre. And then I think what we'll do is we'll base coat the staff, and I think he's ready to glue onto the base then, won't he? The base, I don't know, guys, right? A lot of you guys come off as better paint. Sorry, I'm not on camera. A lot of you guys come off as better painters than me. So I'm going to ask you the question, if you were doing that base, would you be happy with it? I'll show you the base again in a minute. And I appreciate honesty, guys. Because the thing is, if I was a terrible painter, and you guys all go, oh, that's fantastic, Penny, that's brilliant, I'm not going to push myself to improve, am I? I'm going to sit here going, well, that must be really good because everyone tells me I am. I know this paint ain't good because it's coming out quite shiny. I mean, it is really old paint. So, yeah, I mean, look, there's the base, guys. Would you be really happy with that? Obviously, I need to black the edges. So, right, let's go. Let's put some ancient stone in this. Sorry guys, you can't see me wet palette, but I'm just mixing some paint. So now we have ginger ancient stone. Oh, that's too much. That's too much. Or is it? That should be better. Yeah, actually, that's worked out all right. Right, let's see how I can do with this. Yeah, that I'm liking now. Yeah, because you know what these colours are like? When they're wet, they're quite bright, aren't they? But once they dry, they do darken down a bit. Sorry guys, I'm off camera. I really need New Year's resolution, work on my camera positions. Right, this is not going to be a golden demon. That's got to be my catchphrase now, isn't it? It's not going to be a golden demon. I've got a little puddle on my palette, and where I'm roughly mixing it, I've got about 16 different colours going on. But it's actually quite useful because you can kind of go, oh, too much. And then obviously I'm kind of pushing into wet blending here. This brush, I don't know what's going on today. Do you know what? I think I'm going to stop there. I think I'm at the point where, you know, when something isn't perfect, but in your pursuit for perfection, you just push it a little bit too much. I think I'm at risk of that happening. But yeah, I'm liking that now. I think I'm in that position where I could get it better, but it's so close that if I push it any further, I think I could ruin it. Right. Right. So who would have moved? Right, okay, that's good. Rent. I pay $7.50 a month. What area are you in, plastic? Because obviously, I mean, I can get my rent cheaper, but I wouldn't be living in a nice household anymore. If I move to somewhere like Motherwell, I won't say Motherwell is bad, but you're more likely to get mugged by an old lady or a 5-year-old. That's, you know. But your rent is going to be about three to £400 a month for a big house. So, you know, you get what you pay for. But Scottish rent seems to generally be pretty good. Right, I am going to go very dark on this stuff. I'm going to start with oak brown. Then the main highlights will be tree ancient, and the top highlights will be dryad brown. And I'm very comfortable using those for wood colours because they've all got some kind of wood or tree in the name. That makes me very comfortable using them as a wood colour. So Exmouth, is that expensive in Exmouth? Because that's tourist town, isn't it? Athol pays £110. Yeah, but you live Aberdeen way, don't you? I mean, the general, I don't know why Glaswegians don't like people from Aberdeen. They have a derogatory name for them, but where I come from, that derogatory name is reserved for Welsh people. But no doubt that people from Aberdeen like people from Glasgow as much, and they probably have their own derogatory names for them, which you can share if you like, Athol, provided it won't get my channel shut down. Yeah, I mean, obviously I've not grown up a Glaswegian, so I don't really understand this. Well, I suppose I do, because my hatred, not hatred really, but the Norwich Ipswich thing, the Norfolk Suffolk thing. I mean, I really don't get into the Catholic Protestant thing in Glasgow. It's so deep, really, really deep, and it's this is the reason why I don't declare myself as a Celtic or a Rangers fan. I just will never get it. So Arthur, I don't know if you're into football at all. What did you make of the football yesterday? I was listening to my local radio station that has a soccer scoreboard. I used to call it the Rangers show, because I used to be quite biased towards Rangers, but I don't think they are anymore. But what I thought was absolutely hilarious was this Rangers fan phoned in, and he was saying, oh, if Aberdeen, in case you don't know much about Scottish football, Celtic and Aberdeen were on points, top of the table for a long time, and then they went head to head. Oh shit, I'm using the wrong colour there. So they went head to head, and it came out 2-2, so still nothing separating them, and they played for the second time last night, but Aberdeen have been slipping, and I think there was 7 points between them, with Celtic having a game in hand. And Rangers are, well, I've started using a spreadsheet now to work out how far behind Rangers are, because I ain't got that many fingers. This Rangers fan rung in and he went, oh, well, if Aberdeen can draw with Celtic and we can beat Kilmarnock, and then this one of the pundits, he went, won't make a scrap of difference. And this Rangers fan's trying to argue with him. He's gone, well, it's your opinion. And you could tell this commentator, this pundit, was getting more and more wound up. And he was doing such a good job not to tell him where to go. And he was going, well, yes, I get paid to have an opinion. And oh, it's just so hilarious, because this Rangers fan wasn't having it. Right, let's see if I can do a good cover up. I think I can. Just there, I was trying to clean the model up, clean the supports off, and then I ended up chipping the end off. And I thought, am I going to do a reprint just for that? If this was being entered in a contest, not saying you guys aren't important, but if this was being entered in the contest, then yes, I would reprint it. Or I'd put some resin on and reshape it or something. But look at the end there, that's not worth reprinting that for that, is it? Right. Oh, some kind of crystals on the top there. So what I love about painting, you have a really good look at the model, and then you prime it, and more detail pops out at you. And then you start to paint it, and then you suddenly discover more details. So, should we have some unrealistic fun, guys? I could do magic greeny gemstones growing out the top there, couldn't I? So I'll do a bit of research on the colours on that, because this obviously isn't going to get finished now before well, it's definitely not going to get finished before Christmas. So I'll spend Christmas time doing a bit of research, and we'll do some gems on there, because they look like they've grown naturally. So I'm thinking might be an opportunity to use my fluorescent greens and yellows on there. I'm asking you for comments, but I can't read any of them because I've not got my glasses on. I don't think it's a good idea painting this pipe yet, but I'll get the base coat down. I really should get all of the base coats down first, but I still don't know what to do about the cloak. I don't want to ruin it on my colour choices. You know, if I start picking colours that clashes, the whole thing could be ruined. I don't know whether to go for earthy colours, whether to go for bright colours. I want him to be a bit magical. Right, where are we up to? A bigger model room, Penny, that's always good. Well, see, I'm now pushing the realms of needing a separate 3D print room because of the resin. But what I'm thinking about so I'm going to actually take a break. It was 10:30, so I might actually stop painting there now. And we'll just have a big old chit chat. So I'm looking at there's 3 rooms. There's living room, bedroom, and there's a second bedroom. The living room looks quite long. Now I don't need much of a living room. At the moment my smallest room is my bedroom, my master bedroom is my living room, and this is the living room. So I've got more space for crafting. But I'm actually thinking, do I need anything bigger than my bedroom for the living room? Because apart from the fact I've got a dining table, now I've always wanted a dining table, and all my friends said to me, oh, you'll just use it for storing crap on. And I went, no I won't, I'm going to use it for a proper dining table. And I got this dining table and I use it for putting crap on. So I might actually get rid of it. Didn't cost me anything, got it from one of these free places, so I might give it away on the free places. But I'm actually wondering I wonder if I could get away with using the small bedroom as a living room, because all I put in the living room, all I need, I've got a 2-seater sofa bed, which I don't even use that now because I had the sofa bed when I had the lodger, and once the lodger moved out, I've moved into his room, so obviously I'm using his bed. My bed, and I didn't use it brand new, I've had it second hand. That's my life for you. So I wonder if I could, if the bedroom's big enough, I could use that as a living room. Oh, my contrast paint lid has been open all this time and it's dried and now I can't close it. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to deal with that. It's all, yeah, I can't close it. And now it's going everywhere. Yeah, and then the master bedroom could perhaps, if I put a false wall up, I wonder if maybe I could put all my 3D printers at one end and then use what's left as the bedroom, kind of a bedsit situation. I am building enclosures for the 3D prints, so I won't be sleeping in resin fumes. Now one of my, so I'm going to end up with 4 printers. Two of them 2 of them are Wi-Fi, so I can do the files on the computer, send them to the printer. One of them, the one I've got now, has got a camera. The other 3 I'm not sure, but what I could do is put a webcam up so that I can look at the webcam and look to see if they're finished. They're 20 quid. The webcams I use are 20 quid. But if I'm just using it just to look at the Arduinos and things, so that can all be done. So I won't need to go in. I only need to go in when the prints are finished. Sorry, I've just caught Athol's comment and it's just got me thinking. Yeah. Sorry guys. So yeah, but it really depends on how big the biggest room is. I mean, I might be able to get away with a craft room with a false wall or a separate area for the 3D prints. Who knows? Until I actually see the house, I really don't know what I'm going to do. So Athol's saying, well, if it was my base, I'd put more like a footpath he's walking along, so therefore add more sandy colours. So I kind of see what you're saying, but if you look where the feet are, that would involve most of it. And I think I'd probably have to get rid of these flowers. Maybe keep that one in. I'm going to put in some tufts as well. Yeah, listen, I like your thought, but I'm not going to go for it. Because I think that's going to... If the base was bigger, or his footprint... Because he's definitely got a standing stance there, isn't he? He's not walking. So I like the idea. If there was less flowers there, I might consider doing a path across that way. So he's standing by the side of the path, and then maybe do some big tufts there. But I think it's one of those things that if I'd have asked that question and you'd said it before I did all the flowers and everything, I could have got the Dremel out and I could have done all that, and probably would have done. Right. So let's start wrapping this up. I think I can do the rest of him now on the base. Do you agree, guys? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue him on. And I still can't get this. If anyone knows how to open this bottle, then I will be extremely grateful. Right, so I'm going to glue him on the base, and then I'll black around the outside. And then if it's, I don't think there'll be any more time after that, but if there is, we can, well, I'll try and get a wash on this stuff so that we can crack on with that next week. Tomorrow even. Right, so I need some plastic. Plastic. That looks plasticky. Oh, this is actually the best glue I've ever used, I think. So guys, I'm going to do some blatant advertising. If anyone who watched my weekly update will know that there's no modeling content on my channel this week, this month even. But I've started this mystery. It's an Advent Day mystery calendar thingy, and I really enjoyed that. And there's been a couple of people who have been getting into it and dropping comments and their thoughts. And I think there's too much glue on there. Far too much glue. I don't want it oozing out everywhere. But yeah, I really enjoyed making it. And I'm kind of playing along in my head as I was making it. And I think I start off sharing my thoughts with you, and then as we get towards the end, oh, that's not sticking. Well, that's not good. Yeah, that's not sticking. Why is that? Well, it's making contact. La da da. Talk for a couple of minutes while pushing the model down. Right, plastic model monkey, very nice. Exmoor and Devon. 110. How many bedrooms do you have? Not a footy fan, nor do I call Glaswegians anything bad, as I have loads of ex-service mates. Fair enough. 2 bedrooms, Dom, though technically I use one as a storeroom. Celia's Palace. Wow, then you can live really cheaply. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the wages are like where you are, Athol. But in my experience, you have to look at rent and wages. Now, oh, that's stuck down there. That's okay. Right, just maybe needs a bit extra time. So one of the discussions that came up a lot when I was living in London, people were like, "Oh, your wages, your rent is really good," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're going, "But your wages are shit," and I'm like, "Yeah, exactly," but working for Stagecoach, I was on £5 an hour more when I was in London. Yeah, resin with paint on it does not stick. Yeah, it's we'll see how this goes. I'll give it a bit of a stress. Well, look, I'm giving it a reasonable stress test now. If I give it a reasonable amount of force, that's absolutely fine. So that's all right. I mean, if I was playing with it, I'd be a little bit wary of it. But evening pen stuff. Do you know what's funny? Something I was talking about the other day. What did I call my cat? Oh, yeah, this month Shadow's called Pudding. I give him his nicknames change, and as it's Christmas, he's Pudding, just for the month of December. But he's not really as fat as he was. I'm sure he's lost weight. I'm convinced he's lost weight, and everyone agrees. You can see things like his rib cages and all sorts, and I don't think he's as big as he used to be. But yeah, so I was on £5 something more in London, and they were all saying, well, why don't you come down here permanently? And I'm like, look, my wages in London is about almost 1.5 times what it is in Scotland, but the rent is 1.5 times more in London than it is in Scotland. And I'm like, I wouldn't be able to manage. 30, what was I on? I was £13 an hour at the time, with rent of 440, and my council tax is just over 100 a month, and I don't pay water rates because it's included in the council tax. Now in London, you're not getting a lot of change from £1,000 for a 1-bedroom flat, and I've got to find somewhere that'll take cats as well. Council tax is about, I think some people were saying they were paying about 300 quid a month, and then they've got water rates on top of that. And let's face it, you can't drink the water in London. One of the discussions I get involved in a lot is like, say for example, making thinners. People go, oh yeah, you need to add, someone will say, oh yeah, and I just add water. And then you'll get someone will go, no, you need to use distilled water. And then this guy will go, no, I don't, because I live in Scotland. Because the water is fantastic up in Scotland. So this is a bit of a shite coat, which it always is. I slightly over-thinned my paints. I still haven't perfected perfect thinning. And B, I think it's better to use 2 coats anyway. So, Mr. Bearded Veteran, are you busy? Would you mind joining me post-stream for a quick chat that we never seem to be able to catch up with each other on? Oh, oh, it's a little rock. That looks like that might be a rock. So I might just go over that with grey at some point. I know some people use fancy colours for their bases, but I just like black. Now, the only problem here, I've got layer lines. I don't like that. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. Okay, guys, I'm only going to put one coat on because I'm going to have to go over those layer lines. I don't know if you can see them. Just along there. Just on the edge of that base, just there. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get some fine sand and stick. It's not going to take much to get rid of them. It's take about 5-10 minutes effort. So I'll do that off stream before the stream tomorrow. So I'll repaint the lights. Obviously I'm gonna file the paint off. That is a load there as well. That's bad clean up there. And I just pulled my nail off. So I'll give that another first coat on the edges, and then I'll give it all a second coat. It's one of those things where I could probably go, oh, I'm alright, I'm not bothered by it. But if I then look at it once it's finished and then go, no, I don't like it, then that'll bother me forever then, won't it? But look, the black is going to give you a general idea of what it's like. Right, so what I'm going to do then is I will give that a wash on the staff, and then I'll call that a day. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy he's on the base, because now I can start to use my... Oh, look at this, guys. So remember when I showed you this last week, and I said that you've got the big base bit there? Well, now that I've printed the Phoenix off, that is the only base it can go on. It's too big for those. So how awesome is that? And once I move, I'm going to print another one of these off in FDM. Oh, let me show you this, guys. I will be 2 seconds. So yeah, when I bought these 3D printers during the Black Friday deal, they said, because you've spent a certain amount, we'll give you some free filament. What colour would you like? So obviously I went for the purple, didn't I? So this is the colour of the filament. How nice is that? That's not in your face purple, is it? So I'll show you what I'm designing. I think I might have mentioned it, but I thought they said one free roll. Turns out they're giving me 10, and I've accidentally picked every single colour in purple. So Yeah, right, let me give her that. So, yeah, London's a very expensive city to live in. Yeah, you need a good job. The trick in London, when I was doing agency bus driving, I think I sussed it out. What you want to be doing is working within the M25 to get that money, but you want to live outside the M25. I was living in Gravesend, still an expensive place to live, but not as expensive as London. Um, there are some cheap places to rent in London, especially sort of East London and South London, but they're not great places to live. Um, but yeah, it can be done, but it's really, really hard. Um, so yeah, but yeah, it depends where you go anyway. Anyway, Bearded Veteran says evening Penster. Athol says hi there, Mikey. Hi Athol. First bus drivers are on 420 a week before tax. And most live like me in skyscrapers. Yeah, so you're paying cheap rent, but you've got less wages. Saying that, I mean, at the position that I'm in, I can actually pay my monthly rent with 1 week's wages, and I consider myself lucky, because some people are paying 78% of their wages in rent. I could actually be completely skint uh, the week before rent is due and still pay my rent on 1 week's wages. So I can certainly try. I'm just going to go and make a brew. Love the colour, yeah. Right, so let's get this wash on, and then I can finish the painting for the day. What is it now? It's 10:02. And then I was going to show off my designs. I'm actually trying to design something. What should we do? Strong tone? I need plastic. I really miss my tile, you know. Right, so bit of strong tone, a brush, and there's my size 1 I was missing. Right, there isn't a massive amount of detail in there. In fact, I'd say by Loot Studio standards, that's quite poor. By anyone else's standards, that's pretty good. No, it's alright. It's okay, actually. It's, there isn't ever going to be a ton of detail in wood, is there? Unless you got the bark. Yeah, that's pretty decent detail, actually. Sorry, Loot Studios, I take back what I just said. That's an adequate amount of detail. I say it before, I'll say it again. Wash is a magic potion, isn't it? It turns ordinary things into suddenly makes you go, oh, look at that. How amazing is that? Is that a bit? Missed his toe, look. Just get that out of there. That's probably a pointless exercise because his pipe is quite smooth. So, yeah. And plus it's, I'll get plenty of wash in the pipe. Really darken that up. I wonder if I've got some really dark tufts and maybe just get some grass in there and pack it in. Do you reckon that'd work? I know what you're going to ask next. You're going to say go for it. Get some grass in there, paint it whatever, and then you're going to want me to paint it orange to make it look like you're smoking it. So I talk myself into things there, don't I? Because now I've just mentioned it. If you wasn't thinking about it, now you're going, yes, Penny, do it. Right, so I'm going to stop there. So, right, so I am working on these drawers. So as you may or may not know, I'm probably going to have to move the camera because I can't move the drawers. So I thought I pulled my thing out there. So I have got these hobby drawers. They're from EMBA. They're about 20 to 30 pounds per drawer, and they are excellent. And I love the guy. The guy is wonderful. He's I refer to him as a hard-working genius. When you see things like what was some of the things I've done, the material store. Oh, do you know what, Athol? Right, so I'm into budget things so much, right? I don't mind paying good money for a good product, but I object to paying modelling prices for stuff that I can get not modelling, if you know what I mean. Like this. I really begrudge paying 25 quid for this when I can get a cake stand for a tenner and it's twice the size. And here's me talking about getting grass tufts. Doesn't have to be a B&Q paintbrush, actually, does it? I've actually got a set of paintbrushes that someone gave me. They're really cheap. They're horrible. They are hair, but I don't know what hair they are, and they're the sort of brushes I'll never use for painting. And there's me B&Q paintbrushes. All right, mister, you come in for a bit more fuss, have you? It's nice to see you on camera. You know people love seeing you, don't you? But you never look at them. You never show off that wonderful egg timer on your face, which I love so much. Yeah, how about you turn this way and say, hello, fans. Hello, fans. He don't look at you, does he? There you go. Show everyone how handsome you are. See, he's not fat, is he? I don't think he's fat anymore. And I don't know if I like the vet saying he's fat, because the vet does the, well, she has a little feel, but she does it pretty much the same way humans do BMI tests. A BMI test is what body mass index it stands for. All it is your height versus your weight. And because I'm 5'4", according to BMI charts, I'm obese. Yeah. Do I look obese? You know, and it's the same with the cat. She goes, oh, he's 5.1, he's too heavy. 5.1 kilos. But saying that, since I put him on a diet, he's become a lot more playful. So maybe he was. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so these drawers, they're 20-30 quid. So I've been doing I'm trying to design my own drawers. And I'll tell you what, now I'm not a designer. If you put where's my keyboard gone? What, have you eaten my keyboard? Guys, I've lost, here it is, just right at the back. Right, I'm going to have to be really mean now. I know, I'm horrible to you, aren't I? So, I can't do, no comment. No comment. My old cat weighed almost 7.6 kilos. Would you have said he's fat? Right, so, I'm sorry, mister. I know I'm horrible, but you're going to have to just sit there for a bit. Alright? So, I'm not a CAD designer. You see all these wonderful things that people make. And I can't do all that. But what I can do is if something can be broken down, I forgot to put music on today, guys, I'm so sorry. If it can be broken down to straight lines and circles, I can do it in Tinkercad. So I have been working on a base, and this is what I've got so far. Do you know, I've only just learned how to do the zoom. So what I'm after, this is the base, guys. Now the base and the top are the same, just different thicknesses. So what we've got here, I haven't done the back yet. So we've got slots so you can put the sides in. Now what my aim is to make a box that can be turned into any combination of 4 across and any combination of 4 up. So you could have one big box, you could have 1 by 2, 2 by 1, 3 by 2, 3 by, you know, whatever you want. And I'm going to make it modular so that you can use the top, the bottom and the sides and the back will be the same for all of the boxes. And the only difference is what, oops, didn't mean to do that. The only difference is what you put in for the dividers. So what I've done here is I've made a little indent. So you see it says 4, 3, 2, 4, 3 and 4. And that tells you where to put the dividers. So if you want it, hang on. So if you want 2 across, you put a divider in the middle there on the 2. If you want 3, you put 2 dividers where the 3 is, and then if you want 4, you put it where the 4s are. And that's my base so far. Now let me move that across. This is going to be an FDM print job. So I'm not sure if, because I keep making, I had so much trouble with this, guys. There we go. So that is what I've come up with. And you see that you got the little end. Oops, didn't want to do that. How do I, oh, I don't know how to scroll down. So look, you see this is what I've got. And I was thinking about cutting holes in it. So if I cut holes there, where, you know, down it, but to be honest with you, that's a 7-hour print. I don't think that's terrible, and I can speed this up. So you see I've got a speed set to 250, and now apparently this printer I've got will go up to 600 millimeters per second. So if I put it up to 600 millimeters per second, it's now a 6. Actually, I think I'll bring that down a bit, because that's only saved me an hour, isn't it? So at 500 millimeters per second, that's 6 hours. However, if I got a 0.8 needle and then printed that off, oh god, that's with a layer height of 0.1. Wow. So look, if I got a 0.8 needle, that's a 2.5 hour print. So do I need to cut holes in it? And that's the base. Now the base, as you can see, is quite thick, because I want a nice sturdy base. Now the top is easier, because once I've designed the base, all I have to do is just reduce the plate down by 5 millimeters, and also there's no numbers on it. The only thing you got to remember is that with the base, the top was the top and the bottom was the bottom. But on the top is the outside. Hang on, let me rephrase that. So with the base, the top is the inside and the bottom is the outside. But with the top is the outside and the bottom is the inside, if that makes sense. So you'll actually lift that up. And that is obviously going to be a quicker print. 2 hours. And that's so much quicker than printing a box, but all the boxes are the same anyway. But then once I've done the boxes, I can then start making inserts for them. So obviously I'm going to replace all of these boxes, and then things like my screwdriver for my part works, what I'll do is I'll make a section that fits that, and then I'll make the drill bits or screwdriver bits are going to be a piece of cake, because they're just going to be I suspect, it looks to me like a 4mm hole, so I just need to punch 4mm holes. So, and then I'm getting a bit caught up with the old Dream World, and I'm thinking this is going to be so awesome. I can put it on one of these sites, and I could sell it for a tenner a pop. Oh, I meant to have a look at the price of it actually, because it would be interesting to see how much it'll cost me. So the base apparently will cost, oh shit, that's not that much cheaper, £4.61 just for the base. I will double check that. Wow. So I know the top will be cheaper. Yeah, it's about £4, 20 quid. 20. It's not going to be much cheaper then. So maybe I need to cut holes in it then after all. Right. Yeah, he looked like me. Ha ha ha. So you're not that big, are you, Dominique? Do you know, I saw my duty controller the other day. He always sits down behind his desk, and I always thought of him as small. And then he goes, "Oh no, I'm whatever big. I think 6 foot something." And he stood up, and he's like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Whoa!" And I thought, all those times I've seen you, you've always been sitting down. Right, guys. So it's 11:05. Let me. So, guys, I'm going to call it a day now. So I'm going to be doing that base. I'm just going to give that a little file. Just get rid of those layer lines. I'm not going to be happy with that. And now I can't see them. They've disappeared. There they are. Yeah, and it's right at the front. So if it was at the back, I'd say, oh, maybe not so bad. So guys, join me tomorrow if you would. We'll do some more work on him. We'll try and block in a lot more of the clothing. Have a think about colours, and I'll have a think about colours, and then we'll do a little comparison tomorrow, and we'll try and get some of those blocked in. That will be my last stream for a while actually. So I'm anticipating that after tomorrow, my next stream. Right, so next week I'm packing, the week after I'm moving, and then I haven't got my Christmas rota sorted out yet, so I don't know what I'm working. I know what I should be working, but things are going to change. I might be, hopefully I'm working Christmas Day actually, because there's extra money I could do with the extra money. I said to my boss I'm happy to work it. Someone said happy night spirit. Do you know what? She is under the desk. She has she started sleeping under the desk. Now I had a spillage about a week or so ago, and I just put a towel down there just to mop it up, and she just started laying on the towel, and she's been laying on this towel, and every now and again I accidentally kick her. You know where you kick your feet when you're under the table. But I cleared it all out, and I folded the towel up, and hello. I'm going to take a picture of this, guys, because this is actually really lovely. But I've pushed the towel further back, and so that I don't accidentally kick her, and She's quite comfortable under there. So the automatic flash is cut in, but I've got two cats that just seem to be quite happy near me. So there she is underneath the desk, and you see that my feet are much further away from her. She's, you know, I buy all these expensive beds and things, and she ends up sleeping on an old towel that I stole off somebody. Bearded, come and join me on this one if you want. It makes no odds to me actually, because we can speak on either. It's nothing actually major. So yeah, guys, that's it. So if you would join me tomorrow at the same time, that would be fantastic. And as I say, I really don't know when my next stream will be. I do apologise. But yeah, so take care, guys. Bearded, the link will still work even when I finish the stream. So as soon as I hit the end stream button, I'll go for a wee. Oh, it's joined me already. Hello, just joined me just in time to say goodbye.
Is the camera on? Interesting.
Have you got spots or something today, Bearded?
No.
Don't want to show your face?
Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Oh.
So on today's episode of Mikey Learns How to Play with Cameras. Right, guys, so I'm going to finish the stream. So take care, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Echo 2. Yeah. So, yeah, so I've got one cat there and one cat there. And now I've got a very good friend on stream with me. Right, take care, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.
Probably won't again, so we'll be taking even less care from now on. The singing might go off a bit, and the words won't have to rhyme, and there's no line here.